Alright guys, in today's video I'm going to talk about 4 big misconceptions that I think a lot of foreigners have when they come out to the Philippines. Stick around. Alright, so these are 4 misconceptions, and I'm actually going to write a blog in more detail on this, but for now, the video. And I thought I would share it with Maya because she'll probably think it's funny too. But
okay.
These are 4 misconceptions that I had personally, and then you can tell me your opinion. I think a lot of foreigners have this too. But number 1 was, I literally thought when I came here, like I heard rumors like, oh, every girl wants you and blah blah blah. You know, they just all love you. And foreigners, you know.
They like foreigners.
And I came here in 2015. I literally expected like every girl to be staring at me and wanting me. I mean, seriously, I know it sounds
like you feel like you're a hot shot.
like
walking.
You're a hot shot, like you're a movie star. And I quickly realized that is not true. I still think there's a good amount of Filipinas that do like foreigners, but don't expect that every Filipino is going to want to chase after you. Like, one, you have a lot of friends that aren't even interested in foreigners, am I right?
Yes, I do have lots. And actually, I don't like foreigners before.
Right, exactly. You weren't even interested.
Yes, when I was working before as a waitress in the bar, in the restaurant in the Boulevard, and there's lots of foreigners in there who comes in there and drink. They always hit on me, but I don't see them.
Right.
Like,
just to pay attention to.
They don't exist.
Right.
Like, if they, hey darling, hey beautiful, I don't see their faces. It's like blur.
And I realized quickly that when you're here that there's a lot that don't want to date you. One, maybe they're just interested in Filipinos. They just have more in common and whatever. And 2, a lot of them just don't want this large age gap anyway.
Yes, they don't like the old men or older.
Right. They make
most of the foreigners that come here are are older.
I have noticed through the years it's starting to be where there's younger foreigners are starting to come, I think because
they can,
and everything's online now. You know, when I first came to the Philippines, the internet was just so horrible in 2015 when I first got here. So I don't think a lot of young people could really be here because they really couldn't work.
Yes.
You know what I mean? But now
everything is digital, so
everything's digital, so you're seeing more and more younger, and that means, guess what? If a Filipina has a choice between someone her age, a foreigner, and a guy who's 60, she's probably going to choose the younger one. Let's be honest.
yes.
Then there's some that are just scared. Like, I don't know, they've heard maybe some story. You've talked about that in one of your videos.
Yes.
You know, scared for various reasons. Things like, you know,
and also because it's different culture and different mindset, and it's scary. It's scary to.
It's out of their comfort zone.
Yes, it's scary to interact with foreigners and their jokes. You can't get it.
Right.
Because sometimes when I'm still humorless. I don't get the joke, and I would get offended. Like, why would you say that?
Sarcastic humor,
sarcastic
things like that.
Humor. So, not all people can get that.
But now Maya has sarcastic humor too, so.
Yes, I developed a sarcastic humor.
That's kind of misconception 1. The second misconception I had is I just heard from, I don't know, I watched videos or whatever, and my impression was when I came here, I'm like, okay, I'm going to be eating balut, you know, the duck embryo.
The entire time?
Chicken feet, chicken intestine, chicken head, just all this crazy stuff. You know, because nobody was really making videos on all the good food.
Yeah.
So I just assumed that I would come over here and I really was not going to like any food whatsoever. And at the beginning, I was just kind of like, oh, no, thank you, no, thank you. I was like eating Western food and whatever. And then eventually I just started to try different things, and I think if everybody gives it a chance, there's a lot of good food. Like my favorites now are
Because
Bicol Express. Maya turned me onto that. I wasn't even really familiar with it. But-
really?
No, yeah, I wasn't. I never tried that. And adobo, which Maya made last night. I can't believe in 1,000 years I'd ever be eating sardines and rice. But guess what? I like sardines and rice now.
Spanish sardines.
Spanish sardines. They're usually a little spicy and they're in olive oil.
You didn't like the sinigang, the mungo?
I like mungo soup, sinigang. I never tried any of the stuff when I first came here. And sisig I love now, and sizzling bulalo.
Bulalog.
Bulalo.
Bulalog. That's a different meaning.
So the point is try different things. You'll be surprised that there's actually a lot of good food here. So that would be misconception number 2. The third misconception I had was that, like, I knew it was a poor country. You know, I knew that there was a lot of poverty and things, and just in my head, I just expected to come here and just see only poverty and.
Oh, you expected that you're gonna live in
Like-
a shack house and bathe
Right.
in the river.
I mean,
like
I
really poor country.
I don't know if what I expected, but I just expected more poverty, and I was so surprised when I saw like these beautiful resorts, and I mean,
Beautiful
the
houses and
beautiful
cars.
houses and cars, and the malls here are like some of the most amazing malls in the world.
Yeah.
I mean, they've got a mall in Manila, which is like the Venice Canal from Italy. They've got
It's in Quezon, right?
like is on Taguig,
Ah,
and they're just these huge malls, and
yeah.
so
Have you been to Mall of Asia?
I have not been to Mall of
It's
Asia.
really big. Eh?
It's big too, but
That's the biggest mall in the
Yeah.
Philippines.
yeah, that's right. Haven't been to that, but there's a lot of beautiful places and modern things here. So don't just come here and expect that it's all going to be
Poverty.
poverty. Right, exactly.
Because there are lots of rich Filipinos here, and not only rich Filipinos, also expats that comes here and marry the Filipina. They would build a nice house and
Right.
build businesses and buy nice cars.
Exactly. For example, the apartment that we live in, he's Filipino, but he lived in like California for 30 years. So he came over and he
Yeah.
built it like Western style. Fourth thing is, I guess before I came here, it was in 2015. It was my first time. Well, before that, my cell phone company, every time I called customer service, guess where they were? In the Philippines. So
Yes.
that, and so every time I called, their English was excellent. Of course, they worked in a call center. I knew that this was a military place for the U.S. Navy at one point. I knew that it was a duty station. I knew this was kind of like an American territory for a little while until the Philippines regained their sovereignty. And so I guess I came here expecting everybody just to be speaking English fluently. And I have learned that is actually furthest from the truth. If you're in the cities, like I know if you go into the mall or the stores or most places around, people have no problem speaking English to you, right?
Yes.
But if you go like an older generation, like parents in the province, you'll actually come across a lot of people who really can barely speak English at all. And so don't expect that everywhere you go stop at a small province place,
Yeah.
or you go to meet your girlfriend's family, don't expect to be,
They can speak English.
yeah, I mean, expect to be having your girlfriend or
Translator.
as a translator, yeah, because it's just not true that everyone speaks English fluently here. And again, it's not their native language, so I mean, no, it's not a problem. It's amazing that you can come here and so many people speak English well, so which is fantastic. I mean, I think I've literally, I can't tell you how many times I've called Amazon. Guess what? They were in Cebu, Philippines. The customer service, my cell phone company, like clothing. I had to return some shoes one time.
It's because the labor here is very cheap. That's why most of the U.S. companies base here.
Right. But the fact that they speak English too.
Yes.
So what is it like in school when you're growing up in school? When is English being spoken to? At what point?
Only in English subject.
English subject. What? So there's only one class which is English.
Yes.
All the other subjects are taught in your local
Bisaya and
Tagalog. What about when you get to college? I've heard that they at that point they switch to English.
Yes, they speak English. But not all teachers, not all professors speaks English. Most of them just speak Bisaya.
But a lot of the books will be in English.
Yes, all in English. I actually don't speak English very fluently before because I have not have a contact with an English speaker. Most of my friends are speaks Bisaya, so it's like when I speak English, I know I can speak English. I can put sentence properly, but it's very hard for me to speak it. It's in my mind, but I feel like I'm afraid to make mistake. Something like that. It's just I gained confidence when I started doing my business because I need to interact with lots of people, and I've already like watching lots of movies, and I practice my English with my daughter because she speaks English.
She's like a little American kid.
Yes, and then I had a foreigner boyfriend that speaks English. Yes.
So there you have it. That I mean, I could probably go through and list more, but these are 4 big ones. So again, don't come here and expect that every Filipino is going to be head over heels for you and wanting to date you. Simply not true. And 2, don't try the different foods. Don't just assume that it's all chicken intestines and chicken heads and spare parts.
There's sisig, there's
some really good food.
Kansi, there's chicken in asal. Every island of the Philippines has different kinds of native food.
I do.
The native delicacy. And if you go to any islands, you should try what's their delicacy.
Yeah. And don't expect that there's not beautiful places, beautiful resorts and things, because there are. And lastly, again, don't expect to go meet your girlfriend's family and that everybody's all sitting around speaking English. It's probably not going to happen. So.
And just be nice, because not all people can speak English because they don't speak it every day, and it's very hard for them to locate the words.
Yeah, sometimes I've noticed that a lot of them maybe can understand a lot of English, but speaking they're shy.
It's very hard for them to locate the words, and they're afraid to make mistakes. That's something that they worry,
We had somebody told us one time recently that easiest way to learn a language is speaking around children, because children will correct you. They're not embarrassed or anything to correct you, or shy to correct you. Adults will be embarrassed to correct you, or maybe just laugh at you or something.
Yes.
Yeah. So anyway, guys, appreciate you watching. See you guys next time.
Let's take it real.